Bastard, someone whose parents never married, something that is inferior, or someone who people do not like. And the only part of that definition that factually applies to me is that my parents did not marry. Yet the other two parts of that definition have been emotionally absorbed into my DNA. So as a result, I've had to work extra hard to make sure the thing that makes me so uncomfortable in my own skin doesn't become the thing that defines me. You see, I was born and immediately placed in the foster care system. Although by design, foster care is supposed to be a temporary situation, for people like me, it can be a life sentence. The unintentional trauma permeating through that system is simply not temporary. Right now, there are approximately 400,000 children in the foster care system in the United States, and 117,000 are waiting to be adopted. And those numbers do not account for the children who are free to be adopted but have given up on the institution that is supposed to be an entitlement of birth. Family. I, like many, have lived in several homes, have been threatened with unstable living conditions, endured episodes of physical and emotional abuse, had divorced parents, and even witnessed the attempted suicide of a parental figure. And none of those issues were any of the reasons I was placed in foster care. Those were all issues I experienced while in care. A system that, no matter how hard they tried, was never going to be able to offer me the stability that a child needs most. The system simply has no heartbeat, and yet seeks to decide for, dictate to, and distribute all the precious heartbeats of those trapped inside. It often removes us from our families, our friends, our kinfolk. It deconstructs our identities until all you become is what the system has made you believe you are. Instead of love and security, it reinforces our new inheritance. Increased financial instability, increased housing instability, lack of consistent education, low self-esteem, identity issues, depression, anxiety, self-blame, guilt, feeling unwanted, a lack of hope, all because I didn't belong to someone. For those of you lucky enough to have a family, your potential for emotional health, high self-esteem, greater resilience, a well-defined identity, higher social confidence, and the ability to handle stress is so much greater when you know where you come from, and more importantly, when you know where you belong. Your potential for growth is limitless. Luckily for me, my life's path crossed with a teacher and coach who took the time and effort to see me. He gave me messages contrary to those I was receiving at home, contrary to the messages from society, and certainly contrary to the messages that I was creating in my own mind. All I can say is that whatever fate was watching over me, it gave me the courage to believe in him. And there it was. The shift from believing in no one to believing in him to believing in myself because he believed in me. That lesson became clearer and clearer to me as I navigated my life's journey. And even though single, when the time was right and purposeful, it was my turn. It was too precious a gift to keep to myself, and so I opened my heart and opened my doors to my first baby boy, who had just turned 17. Xavier arrived, and all the things I knew I wanted as a child I saw live out in him. I was addicted, in love with love, and filled with the power of what hope provides. Jonathan arrived at 14, followed by Ronnie, who was 13. Then came Carmel, who was 20, and then Cameron, then Sincere, who were both 12, followed by John, and then Trenton, who were both 17. 8 young heartbeats released from the system that held them captive. Now they were free to belong to something that was uniquely theirs. We as strangers freely decided that we were more than the sum of our experiences, and what we needed more than anything was to be family. Now, none of this erased any of our experiences, good or bad, and it hasn't always been easy. But we now know where we belong. We now know who we belong to, and we now know that this is forever. We also know that no law guardian, no foster care stipend, no independent living program, no judge, or no rotating caseworkers can take the place of the voices of the people who will always be there. People that will hold our hands no matter what, that will cry because they feel our pain, that will stay awake all night just hoping that we all are okay. We'll fight for you, we'll fight with you, tell you the truth, that love you. Family, and only family, is what saved us all.